Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to the crappiest comic book show on the internet. It's your lovable, hateable host, me. Today we have issues 63 through 66. And in those stories, for the A stories, it's Project Brutus. For the B stories, it's the two-part conclusion to Knuckles and Tails, Revenge of Trog, and the first two parts of the four-part Knuckles Homecoming. For the C stories, we have 4 out of the 5 parts of Cybernik Strikes Back, with the 5th part coming next episode. Starting with Project Brutus, 2 qualities that a good leader needs are dignity and maturity. But then Dr. Robotnik was never out to be a good leader. During his usual childish rantings at the wall, Grimer comes in and says that Brutus is almost complete. They just require one more component. Dr. Robotnik's mind. They copy the brain patterns onto Brutus, and Brutus lives.
At last, my long-awaited second-in-command, a trooper with my own brain patterns. Yes, Doctor, your personality program, coupled with my computer brain, makes me more than fit for the task of exterminating Sonic the Hedgehog.
Meanwhile, the Bobiki traveling circus has arrived at the Pleasant Zone. Remember the Pleasant Zone? Last time we were here, it was frozen over by an ugly-ass doctor guy. However, it seems that everything's much more back to normal, or as normal as it can be on an alien planet filled with anthropomorphic creatures being attacked by giant robots. Sonic makes the foolish rookie mistake of taking off his disguise in public. That is Covert Ops 101. It seems that some sort of, I want to say, coyote has spotted Sonic and has ratted him out to Dr. Robotnik. However, Brutus seems to have intercepted that command and takes care of it personally. Within a matter of minutes, the ship descends onto the Pleasant Zone.
Citizens, surrender the Hedgehog, and you will not be harmed. My name is Brutus, commander of the elite troop force of Mobius, second-in-command to the mighty Dr. Robotnik.
Well, it looks like the gang wished that they had Tails and Porker Lewis now, but Porker Lewis is trapped in an alternate dimension, and Tails is back in his home alternate dimension. Sonic gives the corny-ass good guys always win mantra, and then heads for Brutus straight on. And then Brutus just gives Sonic the good old bitch slap. He gives him a backhand and onto the ground. No robot is unbeatable, says Sonic.
Finish them quickly, you fools.
The Freedom Fighters seem to have noticed that Brutus sounds a lot like Dr. Robotnik, even acts like Dr. Robotnik, acknowledging that acting like Dr. Robotnik makes him out to be one dangerous son of a bitch. Meanwhile, back at Citadel Robotnik, Dr. Robotnik is about to give Brutus his first mission, but apparently he's already left on another mission, completely circumnavigating Dr. Robotnik's command structure. Meanwhile, back at the Pleasant Zone, Sonic goes right for Brutus. If he can't fight him with the hands-on approach, he'll just wrap around him and tug on the capes, spinning him right into a building. It's a good thing Sonic doesn't have to pay for property damage. Brutus emerges from the rubble, commands the robots to grab Amy Rose, and threatens her life. All the while, Brutus keeps ignoring calls from Dr. Robotnik until eventually the frequency starts to shake his circuitry. Robotnik learns that Brutus was actually out capturing Sonic the Hedgehog and has actually succeeded. Look, it's Sonic and Amy and Johnny Lightfoot now in chains. Brutus has succeeded where Robotnik has failed many times. Brutus decides to take a detour through the Pleasant Zone just to demoralize everyone, but this angers Robotnik as Robotnik wanted him back at the Citadel post-haste.
Jealous of my victory.
Do as the doctor says, Commander. He gets very nasty if you upset him.
He's not the only one, Trooper.
Dunk! Bitch slapping one of the Badnik Bado guys has dropped his gun, and this enables Amy, crack shot that she is, to shoot Brutus and then make their escape. Sonic can't go very fast if he's chained down. I'll forgo the obvious joke of being chained down into a relationship. They aren't able to escape from their chains before they receive fire from the enemies. They just barely make it over the bridge. However, Brutus is no ordinary trooper, for he has the ability to defy gravity itself, which is some crap-ass bull. The pressure has gone to Sonic, and now he's turned into the Super Sonic again. In his super form, Sonic is actually a match for Brutus. It's enough to damage the armor. Brutus then grabs Amy Rose because he knows that Sonic will not shoot a hostage. Problem, Super Sonic absolutely would shoot a hostage, and crashes right into him, breaking his arm off. All forces firing on the one target. All forces then immediately destroyed. Brutus runs back to the carrier and orders them to get the foam cannon, encasing Supersonic in a fast-acting, hardening foam. Even the super foam is no match for the destructive power of Supersonic. Brutus just decides to throw in the towel and bails. Sonic returns to normal and effortlessly jumps over the bridge back to his crew, and they go on their merry way. Robotnik is livid, however. Livid? I'd say beyond livid, but I'd need to use some words I can't exactly use.
Your first mission has failed, Brutus. I told you to bring Sonic to me when you captured him, and you disobeyed. With respect, Doctor, I am programmed with your brain patterns. In the same circumstances, you would have acted that way.
But Robotnik dismisses Brutus, but Brutus is planning now. He will one day overthrow Dr. Robotnik and take Mobius for himself, for he has exactly the same brain patterns as Robotnik. And good thing I took a break interval during that thing, because now we're about to do the rest of Knuckles' stories, but they announced that the hat is back for the Knuckles TV show. You have no idea how excited I was for this. Previously in Knuckles and Tails, The Revenge of Trog, the Dark One, Alan, had come back to convert the Enchanter Kings into evil, horrific monsters like Trog, with Knuckles, Tails, and Girl Tails trapped in a force field. Alan is successful in turning the Enchanter Kings into horrifying abominations like Trog. However, the force field is gone, possibly because he needs all of his power to convert the Enchanter Kings. But what can they do now? Knuckles eyes the mysterious black glowing orb. And now Trog turns to face the prisoners, only to find out they were gone. He thought that Alan had them. And then Alan started chastising Trog for not keeping an eye on them. The three intrepid heroes make haste to the Dimension Bridge, which borders on the Nameless Zone. This'll buy them time to find a way in order to release the Enchanter Kings from the Dark One's magic. However, Trog and the Dark One have beaten him back to the bridge. With nothing else to do, Tails yeets the magic orb into the non-existent space beneath the Dimension Bridge. Anything that falls to the non-existent space will simply cease to exist. This is some sort of existential horror crap, and very surreal. With the orb now gone, Alan disappears into the existential nether dread death thing. Basically the closest you can get to killing someone in this thing. And the Enchanter Kings have reverted to normal. What happened? Such me, old boy, but we seem to be ourselves again. What about Trog?
You've ruined my plans. For that I will destroy you all. Nobody leaves this zone alive, especially those who've ruined my plans.
Moraine, look out! Knuckles, he's in trouble. Knuckles? I thought your assistant was called Sonic. Ooh, Tails let it slip. However, there's no danger at all because Knuckles is absolutely strong enough to take on Trog in a fight, and knocks him off the Dimensional Bridge into the existential death zone. The Shadow Realm. He's sent to the Shadow Realm. Trog is gone, and crossing the Dimensional Bridge is easy. The Enchanter Kings are saved. Ah yes, help from your assistant Sonic. What did he say about Knuckles earlier? It's good to be myself again. Errol Blackthorn is back to normal again. Moraine still doesn't know what this Knuckles business is about. But egad, Trog is back.
And now, miles per hour, for my final revenge. Call it revenge for past humiliation. What's happening? I feel
He's changed back into the third Enchanted King. Who am I? The destruction of the Dark One has returned our companion to us. Splendid. It just took longer for the enchantment to wear off. Oh, farewell, miles per hour and faithful assistant Sonic. And Moraine still doesn't know what this Knuckles thing is about. I think we'll be hearing more from Moraine very soon. And now Knuckles gets his own solo adventure, Knuckles Homecoming. It begins with Knuckles back in the floating island emerald chamber, and he's shattered. I don't blame him, I would be too if I just had to deal with all the crap in the Nameless Zone, when suddenly an alarm goes off. Apparently something has penetrated the force field on the island. As the Guardian, he better check it out. Knuckles takes his famous zoom tube system, different from the Zoot Shoot, legally distinct, and winds up in Megapolis City. And as you can tell by the ziggurat formations, it does look a bit Central American, which is what they were going for in the adventure games for Knuckles' Civilization. And then, suddenly, for one whole page, the black inking lettering is replaced with blue for some reason. And egads, there's a robot! But it doesn't look like something Dr. Robotnik made. In fact, the robot is searching the rubble for something. The robot retaliates with hostile fire, and then the inking turns black again. What the hell's up with that? If the robot isn't taking the diplomatic approach, then Knuckles will use his form of diplomacy. Uno and dos, which is what I call his Knuckles. Causing massive amounts of property damage, he splits the ground into a small canyon just to get the robot out of the way. So Knuckles can investigate why this robot is investigating the rubble. Could it be me? Talking rubble? Unless I'm dreaming, masonry can't speak. No, Knuckles, but I can. I was trying to hide from that robot. No, it can't be. It's true. I'm one of the lost race of echidnas. I am the first of your people to return to the floating island. Dr. Zachary's the name. Many years ago, the original inhabitants of the floating island had disappeared, but now one has returned. So the legends are true. The Chaos Emeralds really exist. They sure do, Dr. Zachary. It's unbelievable. All that power contained in 7 ancient crystals. It's their energy that keeps the floating island in the sky. Without them, the whole place would come crashing down on the surface of Mobius. Knuckles has about 1,000,000 questions, wondering about what happens to his people. Will more return? What was that robot doing? But Dr. Zachary is weary. The robot has left him tired, and he must rest now. But the robot does not need rest. It will continue to hunt for him. That night, Knuckles finds it impossible to take a sleep because he swears he's seen something of that description before, the robot. And he finds it amongst the ancient scrolls. Apparently, the robot is echidna of design. Apparently, the ancient echidnas built some sort of robot somehow. Knuckles immediately leaves in order to tell Dr. Zachary about the robot, when suddenly he's under attack by the robot. Zachary freezes with fear, but moments later, the robot seems to have vanished. It seems to have completely ignored Zachary completely, and headed straight for the Emerald Chamber. It's got the Master Emerald, and it tears it asunder! If you want to know what happens next, wait until the next video. My foot's gone numb. Alright, last thing for today. Cybernik strikes back. On one rainy day, the prisoners are now being escorted to become badniks. Such is life on the planet Mobius. When suddenly, they're under attack. It must be Sonic and his outlaws. Wrong, troopers. Not Sonic, not his outlaws, just me. It's the Cybernik. Lots of explosions later. And boom! All the robots are dead. Robotnik built him to last. All the woodland creatures are free to go. However, for the people that are being rescued, and for you, the humble viewer, reader, whatever, you get the backstory. He was Shorty the Squirrel until Dr. Robotnik converted him into the Cybernik. He was free from the programming and had free will, but he was connected directly into the circuitry, which means he's trapped in the suit for the rest of his life. I expect total body horror in this, or I expect nothing at all. I expect all the circuits going into his veins. I've watched too much Doctor Who Cyberman episodes. Well, maybe this mysterious green bird can help. She's an engineer. Top of the field. The name's Tekno? Yes, Shorty seems to know who Tekno is. And that is why he freed her today. Seems that this thing was pre-planned. Apparently he needs Tekno's help to build a bomb and destroy the chemical plant. Meanwhile, back at the Citadel Robotnik is not a happy dictator. He needs to come up with a new idea. Grimer? Ah, yes, Master. You were about to have a brilliant idea. You were about to mention the artificial life form I created, the shapeshifter. It's Metamorphia. She's back, bitches. Side note, Tekno the Canary. I mentioned before that Lou Stringer created two important characters for Sonic the Comic. This would be Short Fuse the Cybernik and Tekno the Canary, which, after Sonic the Comic went under, Lou bought the rights to these two characters free and clear, meaning that if anyone wants to reprint Sonic the Comic, they will need to pay Lou Stringer. Luckily, Rebellion, who own the rights to the reprints, do have like a policy about paying the old creators for their stuff, so that's at least sorted. Anyway, back at Tekno's secret hideout, she reveals that she used to work for Dr. Robotnik as one of the top engineers, but she was stealing materials in order to create her own weapons. To what end? I have no idea. Luckily, he did not discover this secret laboratory. While Tekno creates the bomb, she's also going to improve the Cybernik's armor as well. It's a new metal that no one knows how to duplicate. But fortunately, Tekno does. She's the one that bloody made it. It's called Megatal. I love it. Robotnik is intercepted. They're on their route to the chemical plant zone. Metamorphia is dispatched. Mission Cyber Kill. What a lame name. And now, Shorty's got a new look. He's covered in black and red stripes. Also, so is Tekno the Canary, looking like a Minnie the Minx looking character. She's also just flying, but like not fly. I know she's a bird, but like, why would she's not flapping her arms? I know she like what I'm thinking of is like the concept art for Jet the Hawk, where he had more like bird-like wings. That's what I imagine is under their Mickey Mouse gloves. Under the Mickey Mouse gloves, they probably have like more wing-like wings. Okay, side rant over. I'm really impressed with the new look you've given me, Tekno. As a certain blue hedgehog I once met would say. Cool, dude. You met Sonic? Wow, I am impressed. It's not long before they find themselves fighting more badniks, and Tekno begins to plant the bomb, when suddenly, a giant shapeshifter appears. It's Metamorphia, and she's colossal this time. They have less than 4 minutes until the bomb goes off. Giant Metamorphia certainly is a match for the Cybernik. She turns to gas, and then Shorty can't hit him, and then she turns solid, and a giant axe gives him a clobbering. But this new Megatal is still the hardest on Mobius, and he turns up the heat, melting her. But not for long, as now she turns into a tentacle fish thing. How about a little zap? But he can't. His arms are captured within the tentacle's grasp, so he better think on his feet. 15 seconds. Metamorphia has captured Tekno. Kablamo! And the chemical plant is exploded. Shorty being buried underneath the liquid. Tekno is brought straight to Dr. Robotnik, and Metamorphia recounts exactly how it was that she managed to defeat the Cybernik, mentioning that there was a bomb and it blew up and a bomb? Yeah, the one that blew up the chemical plant factory.
What?
Shorty is still alive at the sunken wreckage of the chemical plant. The debris from the explosion pushed him to the bottom of the sea, and his oxygen supply is slowly running out. With a little help from his rocket boots, he manages to slip free. He takes to orbit to try and find Dr. Robotnik and wherever he took Tekno. Ooh, Dr. Robotnik, he's angry. He decided to take away Metamorphia's shapeshifting power in order to, mitigate the cost of repairs for the chemical plant done. So now Metamorphia can no longer shapeshift and is off to be converted into a Batnik. But look out, Robotnik, it's showdown time. Shorty's back. And that's all for this video. This one took a little longer to get made because I had to deal with the other video taking so long. By the time you watch this, the Sonic the Comic-Con in York will have come and gone. I was not fortunate to attend myself because I do not live anywhere near York. If it was in Glasgow, you bet your ass I would have been there. But hey, I hope you all have a wonderful time with whatever it is you're doing. See you around, people.